Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of Idiosyncratic Fables, where the whole premise is that everybody has a story to tell, and I want to hear yours. So a little bit before I introduce our guests, yes, plural, guestesses, going to get into what I've been up to. Really excited to announce that the first ever lit RPG book that I've narrated is now up for sale on Audible. It is Elsewhere by Doug Losey, book one of, I think he said, a 5-book series. Book two is well underway in as far as the narration process goes. War and Dungeons is the title, and that one should be up for sale, hopefully, by mid to late next month, depending upon how quickly ACX can get it up for sale. Other than that, as far as my books go, the thriller duology I'm working on, the first book is about 75% complete as far as the rough draft of the manuscript goes. I crossed over the 60,000 word marker threshold, if you will, back on Friday, and quite a marker too, because I was able to sit down and write over 6,000 words in one sitting. Never done that before. So definitely calls for celebration on that one, but more so when the book is actually finished. Enough about me. Let's get to our guests. I am very honored to introduce you all to a doom/death metal band, Percipient, from the Colorado area. Gentlemen, Percipient, thank you so much for agreeing to be on my show this evening.
Really?
Absolutely. Wow. Thank you for inviting us.
Absolutely. It is it's been an honor, honestly. Was incredibly excited when your first release came out on Spotify. Instantly gave it a follow. Been listening to just about not just about, I've been listening to every track, all 6 tracks, I think, probably about once or twice a day, just to kind of not refresh my memory, but because it's really good stuff. So thank you guys for releasing it. It's outstanding.
Thank you. Thank you. That means a lot.
Thank you.
Yeah. So first question, how long have you guys known each other?
Ivan and I go back a couple decades-ish, early 2000s.
Yeah, I feel like Ivan is sort of the link for the 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon. So
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I think I know James, the father, like the oldest, 22, 23 years. And Reed and I met about 12 years ago. Aaron,
I met them like a year ago.
Okay.
So kind of Craig the same way. Craig
it was 2023.
A couple years.
Yeah.
Aaron, it's got to be at least a year and a half by now.
Give or take. Who's counting? Not me. I can't count.
I have to count so I can deny how long things have been.
I got emotionally scarred by the Count vampire from Sesame Street, so I don't like doing it.
That's my hero. I'm sorry he abused you.
Well, yeah. I wouldn't.
You seem to be doing okay.
I'm doing fine. As long as there's no counting involved, it's good.
Yeah,
that's true. Yeah, I've been about 20 years or so. Me and James.
Long time.
When people find you on Spotify, if they go into the description, it says the band underwent significant changes as well as under a different name prior to 2020 or right at 2020. So talk to me a little bit about Empyrean Eclipse before it became Percipient.
Oh, no, that's a different band.
Different band entirely.
Yeah, so that's a band I've been in since 2009, end of 2009.
Okay.
And we haven't been doing much, especially since COVID. We're working on some stuff now. We're hoping to get back out there within the next 6 months or so. But yeah, Percipient, different band.
Okay, that makes sense. That actually alleviates a lot of my confusion then. So thank you for that.
You should check them out though if you haven't. Just saying.
Yeah.
Shameless self-promotion.
Shameless plug. Yeah.
Shameless plug there. Yeah.
So I can answer that. Rich and I had this project. It was called Chrononauts. And there were other members back in 2020, something like that, Rich?
Yeah, it was. I want to say we started probably somewhere around 2015, 2016, maybe. I don't know. Um, that's a ballpark estimate.
Okay.
So Rich and I have this project, and as every other band has problems, we went clicking, and several members came and went. Me and Rich decided moving on, and I was like, let's start this other project. Actually, Rich came out with a name. We were looking for a name, but we already have some of the material. And originally, what's funny, this band was gonna be a studio band because I personally play in all the bands. I'm pretty busy. So one thing led to another. We decided that, you know what, maybe we should turn this into a band. And we start looking for members. I asked James, because if I recall, James, I did ask you.
Yeah, you did.
A while back, I asked him if he wanted to jam for this band, but at the time he was unable to do it. So finally, the opportunity came. We asked him. He said yes. Aaron and we ran into a bar. Remember?
Yeah.
And I did ask him because we were looking for a second guitarist. And he said yes, send in the songs. We came together. Craig and I played another band called Lacerated. And then the bassist moved on for the project. So Craig was able to jump in right away since all his equipment is already on the practice page. And that's how we became Percipient 2.0, per se.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah, I will, just to kind of piggyback on what Ivan said too, I feel like kind of the past iterations, we had a sound that we wanted in mind, but I feel like we didn't really like hit our stride until Percipient. We kind of had a focus, and yeah, I guess that's kind of how it just congealed.
Awesome. So that kind of leads into my next question. What would you say the overall motivation is for forming the band?
As I previously stated, Rich and I started this project back in 2015, and as you can tell, the US is full of doom bands, but like stoner bands.
Right.
And we wanted to bring something back in the 90s, kind of European style, Scandinavian. Bands like Draconian, All Amorphis, All Anathema, All Opeth. And that's how me and Rich started this project a long time ago, but it's hard to get members that really into the same thing that we're looking for. So I feel that this lineup pretty much understood what the theme is from the band. We always been attracted to the paranormal, myself and Rich. So we were trying to keep it as we need something that drags into the paranormal. And James, I feel like James was the missing piece of this with his lyrics.
Okay.
The voice of an angel.
Yeah. None of the reviews have said that. So.
Well, so, along the European reviews, we can't read them and stuff because they're in a different
True. Google Translate can only do so much.
That's right. And you guys were featured in an Italian magazine, right?
Yeah, the latest issue called Rock Hard in Italy.
Rock Hard.
And apparently they press about 5,000 copies all over Europe. So that should be some good promotion for us. And we're looking forward to get the Acton magazine in the mail sometime.
That'd be pretty sweet, yeah.
It's in Italian, unfortunately, but
you don't speak Italian?
Read some of it. And read a little bit.
Pizza. I could read a menu pretty
this
well.
This magazine is delicious sounding.
Cannoli.
Just like the Olive Garden. Oh, wait.
All right. This next question is for Ivan and James. You guys are listed as the lyricists. What inspires you to write?
I will have James answer first.
Well, so when Ivan first talked to me about the project, I was like, yeah, I got some free time. I still travel a lot for work, but he said, okay, our theme is the paranormal and things along those lines. So paranormal is kind of broad and kind of covers a lot of space. So at least I think it does. So I took that and I just had to listen to the songs a bunch for the songs that didn't already have lyrics, because there were 2 or 3 of them that I haven't already had lyrics for. and had been generous enough to record some scratch vocals to work with. For mine, the songs that I actually did, one of them was just straight up inspired by a sci-fi movie that I saw at a horror film festival a couple years ago. That it's kind of like an alien abduction movie, but they call it witches instead. And I don't know what about that song. I latched onto one phrase of words I just made up while we were rehearsing and kind of based the rest of it off of that and took that movie and almost kind of wrote the plot through that movie in that one. Some of the other songs, though, the marionette song for one, I I answered it this way in a written interview thing that we had, but I always find myself kind of holding my arms in weird ways when I sing. It's probably because this is vocally one of the more slower bands I've done vocal wise. Everything else is a little faster for the other bands I've been in over the years.
Right.
And having to breath control, diaphragm control, physical posturing kind of takes place. And for that one specifically, it just seemed the way that the words came out were, I ended up feeling like a puppet, like an actual puppet. And I was like, ooh, I'm going to write a song about that, but I can't just make it about a puppet. So I made it about possession. But inspiration, it's not too difficult with how odd things can be. So I consider things like spiritual awareness and things like that to be inclusive or included in the paranormal world. Like, I don't like to label a bunch of things, but if I see something weird, ooh, that's spooky, and I don't have like an outright explanation, that counts to me. So
fair
I just kind of base it off that. But usually it's I find a pattern in the music, and I'll just try and come up with words as I go. And if I like the way a couple words sound, the rest of the song ends up being based around that phrase.
Gotcha.
And for me, about the same. I usually spend every free time that I get on YouTube looking at paranormal videos or some sort of thriller, and just inspire me to write lyrics for it. Kind of, that's how I put them together. Like, oh, should be cool, and maybe a story like this, and then revise it a few days later to see if it needs to be, rewritten or something.
Yeah, that's similar to me. I also like to tell stories in my songs if I can. Like, I'm not the typical verse, couple of verses, chorus, bridge, hook type of writer. And with death metal, you rarely are. But I like to try and tell stories, even though with the vocals, most people can't understand the words, thankfully. And I've had many people say it to me, both live and on the recordings, is the vocals are so much slower than the other bands that most people can actually understand what I'm saying, even though it's, usually a really low growl. And that's kind of nice to know.
Yeah. All right, next question. Who did you guys get as the guest vocalist on Eternal Embrace?
Ooh, that would be my wife.
Okay.
She always sings she's never been professionally singing, but she loves like Journey stuff and Lacuna Coil. So,
Lacuna Coil, good stuff.
Oh, that's like her favorite band, and Epica and stuff like that, Catatonia. So when that verse came, I was thinking like, you know what? I think it should be cool if she does that with the vocal behind. And I asked her, I gave him some instructions on what to do, and she did the rest. Like, she added a little falsetto thing coming down, and I thought it came out great. I'm thinking we should incorporate more in the new record that we're in, and we're gonna have a little bit more parts for her to do.
Okay. Yeah, because it caught me off guard, but in a very good way. Nice. Like I said, going through the album the first time, coming out of Phantasm and going right into Eternal Embrace, and then you get about midway through and boom, here's this female voice. I'm like, oh my gosh. It's like it added like this eerie level but pleasurable level at the same time, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that actually was kind of the idea to do that. Based on the lyric.
Right. Yeah, I kind of figured that was the angle you were going for.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, Rich and Aaron, this next one's for you. What was the first guitar you ever bought or received?
I got a. I can't even remember what it's called. It was for my birthday when I was. I don't even know how long ago. I don't keep track. Like I said, not so good with the counting. It was just like this knockoff, like Squire, like combo thing that I got for. It wasn't my birthday. I think it was actually Christmas, and then started playing guitar, and then I bought a Jackson Road like a couple years later.
Okay.
That ended up getting stolen by some dude.
Oh,
what a jerk!
Rich, what about you?
So when I was a kid, I inherited an acoustic guitar from my grandpa who passed, and yeah, it was completely underqualified to play any note at all. So, but I mean, he didn't have any money, and that was his gift to me, you know, when he passed, and yeah, it was. I mean, I try to make the most of it, but you know, when your guitar teacher is a burnout cokehead that he doesn't really, you know, he doesn't know music or anything. He's like, here's how you play Nirvana songs on your weird guitar that barely works. So, so that's kind of how I got my start.
Okay. Now, with both of you guys on guitar, Rich, you're more on the lead. Is that right?
Yeah, I mean, I guess, you know, you take lead with a, you know, a very big grain of salt, because you know, I view it as I'm doing like most of the melodies, but I mean,
okay,
I feel both of us are of equal importance here. So.
Oh, I agree. There's
Just
not one.
That, so I don't feel bad.
Oh,
relegated to the background of the band.
I'm just saying that so I don't have to buy you a present for your birthday.
You weren't gonna do that anyways, so what are you talking about?
Which guitars do you guys use now?
I use a Schecter Halloween V. It's a special a special limited guitar for the shop, a local shop in Colorado I think it's Wheat Ridge, called Drum City Guitar Land, that they get like special Schecter guitars, and I got one of their Halloween 7-string Vs.
Nice. Rich, what about you? What do you use?
I too use a Schecter, but I'm not using the 7-string. I just have a couple baritones. I just recently got the Kenny Hickey, the Les Paul style guitar that he used in Typo Negative.
Nice.
And it sounds great, man. I mean, yeah, live studio, it definitely pulls its weight. So, I also have another Schecter baritone from, I don't even know what model it's called, but it's awesome.
Fantastic.
I have a couple more baritones just here and there, and that's what I use for Percipient.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And then Craig, same question for you as for Rich and Aaron. When did you get your first bass guitar, and do you prefer a 4-string or a 5-string?
My first bass I got when I was 14. It was a Harmony short scale. I paid like $60 for it. Yeah, when I first started playing, I only thought you needed to use like 3 fingers, not your pinky. But I soon learned that that's not the case. So, what's the other question?
Which do you prefer, a 4-string or a 5-string bass?
It depends on what I'm playing.
Okay, that's fair.
But my 4-string that I use for a Percipient is set up as a 5, except for the high. You know what I'm saying?
I don't. I'm a drummer.
Okay, so on a 5-string, if it's in standard tuning, you got B, E, A, D, G as your tuning. But with my 4, when I bought it, I had them professionally set up, so it's set up B, E, A, D. You know what I'm saying?
I do now, yeah. Okay. I had some basic music theory teaching in middle school, then likewise in high school. But it just kind of faded out. And now the running joke is I play in the key of bang.
Yeah.
So what was you talked about your first bass guitar. What's the brand or the kind you use now?
Well, in Percipient, I use a ESP MLB4.
Okay.
And then for some of the other bands that I play in, I use a different bass. But for Percipient, I use an ESP. I love that
awesome.
bass. Freaking amazing. I used it to record too. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sweet. Ivan, what about you? When did you first realize the beauty behind making music out of hitting things?
I don't know. I was probably about 10 years old. You know what's funny? I learned guitar. That was my first instrument. And when I was a teenager, we were looking at each other, a bunch of kids about 14, 15, and he's like, so who's going to drum? And nobody wanted to drum. So I was like, I can drum. Why not? So we started learning Metallica songs, Nathan. And that's how I started. Like, oh, I guess drums is pretty cool. And ever since, just getting more into it. I did play in a few bands about 15 years ago, guitar. I switched for a while because I was tired that nobody had drums, right? When you play and everybody's like socializing, like, is anybody gonna help? Okay, you know what? I'm gonna play guitar. So I completely neglected drums for, I would say, 10 years.
Okay.
Until me and Rich talk about it and say, you know what? Let's go start the project and I can start drumming again. And that's how it went back in drums. And ever since, I don't think I ever played live guitar. At least it's some reunion for some band. Just stick to drums.
I get that.
Oh yeah, I'm in 4 bands right now currently.
Wow.
Apparently drummers are wanted.
As a drummer myself, I really enjoy just taking out my aggression when I'm behind a drum set and just turning it into music. I tried playing guitar once upon a time, but this was mainly because I was inspired by the Guitar Hero and Rock Band franchise. I thought that's the direction I wanted to go in.
Nice.
Got my first and only acoustic guitar, which I no longer have. And I think I learned the opening chord or opening bars to Nothing Else Matters by Metallica off the Black album. And then beyond that, I think I can play a G, but that was like 10, 15 years ago. And I said, nope, this isn't for me.
Nice. No,
all right.
Definitely. Drums are the way to go.
100%. I agree with you. Next question's for all of you. Do you each have a favorite song from this album? And if so, why is that your favorite song?
Nice. I'll say Rich, go for
it. Yeah. Rich,
cool.
Rich favorite song. We know it.
All of them are my favorite children. No, I really like In Darkness. I think that's kind of one that that just it hits home and it's to the point, you know. Yeah, I think all around that one just is I think I might have the most fun playing it. That might be the reason.
Okay.
I guess I go. For me, it's really hard to pinpoint one song, but I'd say In Darkness as all around. He's got melody, heaviness, double bass, super mellow again. And another one that I really like is Eternal Embrace. Just because he's got a female vocals and then goes into heavy guitar, super doomy, like almost funeral.
Right.
And then you get the middle part with the acoustic thing, like, oh, what's going on here? And then we come back even more funeral. So yeah, overall, I like them all, to be honest. But those two is fun to play live for sure.
All right. Aaron, Craig, James, you guys get a favorite?
Yes, kind of. Like, I don't know if I have, like, a favorite. I do really like, I like Phantasm's pretty fun, but I think if I have to choose one in particular that I don't even have a one, because, like, I really like Eternal Embrace. I like the structure and just kind of where that song goes. but also like instrumentally, I Marionette's not my favorite, but like James's vocals are probably really good on that one. I really like his lyrics, so that song really sticks out to me just off of that. But I think mostly I just am divided into like kind of certain moments of certain songs that really hit me. And I think Eternal Embrace might just have like the most amount of those moments that really, get me excited for what I'm listening to or what I'm playing.
Okay.
I'll go, I guess.
All right.
So I liked Phantasm at first. I mean, it is fun to play live and it's fun to play too. But once the lyric video came out for Portals, I kind of like changed to that one because I love the way that song feels, man. It's just freaking cool.
Right on. James, what about you?
I'm torn, man. Like for me, In Darkness, since that was they already had like a pre-recorded scratch version of that when I first joined. That one hooked me in, probably because it's weirdly the most diverse of our songs, where it's got the fast stuff and the slow stuff, but it's also the most straightforward, kind of more death metal-y song of ours. I really like playing that one, just because of that. It's a little more high energy for most of the song. And then And the Stars Fell, I think, is probably my next favorite to play live. It's also our second slowest. It's our longest, and it's weirdly the heaviest. It's got some parts in there that are just ridiculously slow and heavy, and playing those, I don't know, there's something about the super slow guitar with the fast double kicks, the double bass, and those parts for me, and any band that does that well, I'm sold. Like just kind of how I vibe. Especially, I'm a bass head. Like, I love bass heavy music, whether it's metal or whether it's even like EDM. Like, I'm a dubstep dork.
Okay.
I get down on that. But you add some of that fast kicks and that just super heavy sounding guitar tone and bass tones.
Oh, yeah.
Especially live. Probably those two.
For me personally, And the Stars Fell is probably my favorite on the entire album, simply because of the amount of double bass intensity that is in there. Like, first time that track came on, I could feel the corners of my mouth, turn downwards, and that lip pokes out. You're just doing that slow head, and I'm like, yeah, oh, bring it. Oh, it was amazing.
It's kind of how I was the first time I heard it played through. I was like, all right, I can
you know that I hear a lot of people like that song a lot, And the Stars Fell.
Yeah.
And the other ones, I mean, I love too. Like Portals, I was not originally sold on, but it's grown on me a lot. And people, like, especially live, people will compliment us on that song because to them, it's pretty. It's a pretty song. It's got the gross vocals and screams and stuff, but the music is simultaneously heavy, but also has the pretty melodic elements and eerie feeling that kind of carry throughout it. And I mean, all of them I like a lot, and that one's definitely grown on me. For a while, it was not my favorite, but
that was the ultra melodic per se.
Yeah,
most mellow.
Portals has a lot of nuances that I really like.
Definitely,
it does.
There's a lot going on there for a fairly simply structured song, and I think out of all of our songs, I think Portals best kind of tells a really interesting emotional story with just like its structure and how it does things, because it's got that eeriness, but it also has like some brightness, especially in the middle, and there's like even that uplifting riff that is gone as soon as it comes. Essentially, just I don't know. It's a very interesting song. I really like it a lot too.
Uplifting, that's a good word for that. When I was doing the lyrics for it, I actually had like sections of where I was doing breaks so I wouldn't, just to get the timing right. And I don't remember what I called it, but I called it like pop beat or something. Like break for 4 of the pop beat, because I couldn't think of another word. Uplifting would have worked. Good thing I write words.
Yeah, I feel like that. I feel like Portals kind of embodies like the whole. I don't even know what to call it anymore. It's the type of music that Ivan and I kind of grew up listening to, right? Like I call it Euro Doom, but I don't know if that's really the correct terminology for it or not. Stuff like My Dying Bride and um, you know, Shape of Despair, just Amorphous, of course. Like a lot of the just melody heavy slower death metal, I guess, is the way to put it. And that one really kind of embodies what we grew up listening to.
Gotcha.
And I got to be honest, I did not think live that people would enjoy that song. Yeah, I just didn't think they'd dig it live. I get nothing but compliments on that one.
It's our ballad.
It is. It is. And lyrically, it's about like losing a loved one and just being distraught because of that.
Right.
And the lyrics did pretty well. I think. Like
we're trying to make people sad.
I was actually thinking of an ex-girlfriend who's still alive, but I was super sad that she's an ex. I was like, well, now I have to kill her off, but sorry.
So what would you guys say is the best thing about performing live?
Ivan loves lifting things, so being a drummer really comes in handy for
him. On the instrument
all the time. He's like, I want to lift a bunch of crap on and off of the stage with no one to help me.
Yeah,
and then you hear about it later.
Yeah.
A little band
we
meeting.
offer to help, and he's like, no, it's fine.
I love people watching, but I like watching the faces of people in the crowd. Like especially for songs where maybe the section isn't so straightforward and people are trying to process what they're hearing. Because relatively speaking, we're new, and people, our stuff's been out for a while now, but nobody knows the music, quote unquote, yet. It's not super familiar. They might know our style or might have an inkling, or maybe they listened before the show, and I've done it before. A band I was in towards the end of 2000s was brand new. And they're super, super crazy guitar heavy. Won't name drop them or anything, but nobody understood what was happening. And because they didn't know our music, because we didn't have anything recorded when I was in the band, it was just people staring at us. And, I'd see people, especially other band people, like, oh, did you see that sweep or whatever? The solos were crazy. People knew me and knew what I did from other bands, but they didn't know that band. And watching the crowd is probably my favorite thing, but I really like just releasing that energy. You like to hit things, I will scream. That's a stress relieving function in my life, and I stand by it.
I feel the same as James. For me, just watching the crowd, because they don't know what to expect. Like some people, we think they're just standing there, because let's be honest, we're not like a mosh pit band.
Right.
But I feel like we the guilty pleasure of people. Like bands that like ultra. I had comments from guys they only listen to technical death metal or death metal. They come up to me and like, I don't like this style at all, but you guys do it so well that I'm way into it. Like the guys from certain bands in Colorado, like big band. So that kind of is a compliment. Like with a good guilty pleasure of metal, apparently. And
I'll take it.
We've been gaining a lot of fans every time that we play. I can see people responding very well. So I like to watch and watch us. You know what I mean? It's a weird way to say, but that doesn't mean because they're not moshing, they're not into it. You can tell they're like headbanging type, like a European style, where most of the people just bang their heads. So fine with me as long as they enjoy it.
Right.
Please buy our album.
I like being able to see the immediate feedback for when you because like when you release something into the ether, like art, music, what have you, sometimes it takes a while for it to reach an audience, and then the audience doesn't necessarily always, even if they like it, it doesn't always come back to you. Sometimes you never see, they don't always leave a comment. They're like, oh, I dig this. That's it. And they're just keeping that to themselves, which is fine. But when you're, playing on stage, you can see people like loving or hating it, and when you get that connection with the crowd, where it's like, oh, where are the people on the stage and the people off the stage are like, it clicked, and that they're feeling the same thing about whatever you're doing, and it just kind of, it's a really nice feeling to get that immediate connection and hear and feel something that you are doing, something that you have created, just strictly out of pure, creative hard work and stuff, rather than any sort of like nepotism or gimmicks or whatever. It's just like, this is just this real connection, and you can tell just by looking at them and how they're reacting that they genuinely care and enjoy something that you have done and created and put a lot of time and effort into, and it's very rewarding.
Nice.
I feel exactly the same way, especially when it's people that aren't related to you, like, or aren't your immediate friends, and they came to the show because it's you and they just want to support you because it's your thing. Like, that's nice, and thank you for that. But, a lot of people in those situations feel inclined to say something good. So when it's somebody you would not expect to, like the tech death people or the brutal death people that come up and, tell you what they actually thought about it, that's always really nice. But that immediate crowd reaction is what I really like. Like,
or you see a stranger like wearing your shirt or your merch or something. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know you, and you have my thing. That's freaking cool. Yeah.
One of the guys that work with had our shirt on today.
Hey.
Nice. Or like that last show when we signed things.
Yeah,
the first time I ever had to sign stuff back in mid 2000s was the weirdest feeling in the world, and it hasn't happened in a long time. So that was like super cool.
It was.
Like, this is kind of ridiculous, but it's cool.
It was.
It's just a cool feeling.
You get this like kind of thing. It's like, who the fuck are we? What are you?
I got some here you can sign.
I'll be right over.
Especially in Colorado, like, I don't feel like there's another band like us in this town.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say too. I guess the reason I like performing is because there's a whole ton of death metal bands here, a lot of really great ones too, I think. But we're not as straightforward as those guys. So
right,
when we are put on a lineup with other death metal bands, it's like, what is this, and why do I like it?
Yeah, that's exactly what I was gonna say. We usually ended up playing with either technical death metal bands or
there's just a plethora of those, I think.
Like stoner too.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think we're gonna ever be, at least for in Colorado, we're not gonna be really put on a lineup that's gonna be music like ours. I mean, maybe one or two bands, but we're probably gonna, like, I wouldn't be surprised if in the future, we're putting on like stoner doom shows, technical death metal, which we've done. I wouldn't be surprised if we ended up on some black metal shows. Just
absolutely.
Like,
we do have some black metal riffs. If you
we're like, our music is somewhat nebulous, and it's neither here nor there. It's kind of even hard to like define us with doom death, because even then, that I don't think that, because we don't play like super slow all the time. We have elements. A little more, we have a little more pickup than a lot of doom bands would normally be associated with. I usually, when people ask me what kind of music it is, I think, we're like atmospheric death metal. I don't know. It's usually one of my go-tos to best describe us, and I don't even think that does it really that much justice.
Too many subgenres.
Yeah, there were way too many. Way too many.
All we need is a song with a brutal breakdown, and then we get into that too. So
yeah, there you go.
You always go with the tried and true. It's like, what kind of music do you play? Bad music.
Yeah. Yeah. Back in the day, Pantera always had merch that just said support heavy music, support heavy music. That was their thing. Heavy music. That kind of covered everything. Yeah. I always like that.
Like an umbrella blanket statement in a way.
Yeah. Metal's a little too ambiguous, because then you get like the hair metal and stuff like that. But the heavy music was kind of just what I tell people I listen to.
There you go. We do need to start wrapping it up, gentlemen. So, final question here. What does the future for Percipient look like? Are we looking at future albums, maybe a tour across the nation? What are we talking here?
I would say probably looking to get another album out. We already have material, to be honest. That was not put in on the record. As it is, 6 songs was about 40 some minutes. So adding more material, I think it would have been like too much. We have songs already that we're gonna, focus on those. I'm not seeing us touring at this time. Maybe festivals if we get invited. That's probably what we should be shooting for right now.
Keeping our options open.
Yeah, of course. If they invite us to Vigo tour, right?
Like our music, our future is also nebulous and ill-defined.
Just broad scope statement right there. Like.
Okay. Well, Craig, Aaron, Rich, Ivan, James, Percipient, thank you so much for being willing to be on the show today. It really means a lot to me. Where can the people that are listening find you on social media if they want to learn about you and follow you?
I knew I should have looked that up.
Spotify, we're on all the music streaming platforms, Spotify, YouTube Music, Apple Music. I think we finally got on Apple Music.
We're on Apple now.
It's on there.
Jerk.
Miss a couple check boxes and
Facebook and Instagram.
Bandcamp. If you want physical stuff,
Bandcamp. Physical stuff.
Yeah, we're on Blue Sky too, but I'm bad at checking it. So
the hell is Blue Sky?
It's
never heard.
Oh, it's that Facebook competitor thing.
Twitter alternative.
It's another one of those.
Another one of those.
Definitely Facebook. If they want to buy merch and shirts or anything, Bandcamp would be the way.
Bandcamp is where it's probably the best bet for us, because then you can get like the cool fancy vinyl that we have released.
Which Ivan tried to show, but this is a audio only podcast, Ivan.
Yeah.
So Ivan is holding up a vinyl 12-inch, still wrapped in the cellophane.
Outstanding.
Beautiful white vinyl, pale white vinyl.
Just needs to imagine what our drummer looks like, one, and two, what our album looks like, and he's holding that up. And you got it. That's perfect. You envisioned it perfectly.
Nailed it.
Yes.
Nice.
Alrighty. So, and for you, dear listener, I will make sure that I have all of those applicable links for you. So that way, instead of saying, what was that link again? No worries. I got you. Just go into the show notes, click the link, and you're well on your way. Gentlemen, once again, thank you so much for being on the show. Truly, truly appreciate each and every one of you. It means a lot.
Thank you very much.
Pleasure, man.
Yeah,
thank you for having the invite. Truly appreciate that.
This was a good time.
Yep. I've enjoyed every minute of it. No regrets whatsoever.
Yep.
Well, not even one letter.
We didn't do our job quite right. We need to be a little more provocative so that there's some regrets.
I'm not going to do something crazy like sit here and eat Vegemite or something.
Ooh,
that sounds like
choose
something
Vegemite.
I know, right? Are you doing that? And you're just
no. That's why no. Who would do that?
Sounds like
band over,
Australia.
Sounds like Rich would eat Vegemite in the middle of the podcast. Like, oh, I'm not eating Vegemite, I swear.
Now you're definitely not getting a birthday present.
And if you are, it's Vegemite.
It better be. If it's not Vegemite, I'm
gross.
I don't even know what it is. It sounds disgusting.
Take us away, James.
You got it. You got it. So, for everyone that's out there listening, thank you again for tuning in. And as always, anybody and everybody is welcome to be on the show, because everybody has not only weird sound effects, but everybody has a unique story to tell, and I want to hear yours. And in closing this show, I want to do something a little different. Right after I say peace be with you, we're going to end the show with a small little clip from a chosen song off of Percipient's album to give you a little teaser to whet your appetite. So until I talk to you next time, peace be with you.